Today, I will explain you a biological topic that is fertilization, which is generally skipped by the teachers, but as it is taught to me by my teacher, so I will try to explain you all. Before starting the chapter, I would like to say the quote of Mr. Russell. Answering question is a major part of sex education. Two rules cover the ground. First, always give a truthful answer to a question, and second, regard sex knowledge as exactly like any other knowledge. Now, let's start. Fertilization is the action or process of fertilizing an egg of a female animal or a plant involving the fusion of a male gamete and female gamete to form a zygote. Today, I will only explain fertilization in animals. You can pause your fertilization in animals. The fusion of a male gamete with a female gamete to form a zygote during sexual reproduction is called fertilization. Since the male gamete of an animal is called sperm and the female gamete is called ovum or egg, therefore we can say that the fusion of a sperm with an ovum or egg to form a zygote during sexual reproduction is called fertilization. This process produces a new cell called zygote. Let's understand zygote, embryo, and fetus one by one. The zygote is actually fertilized egg. It grows and develops to form a new baby. The unborn baby in the uterus in the early stages of development, when its body parts are not much developed, is called embryo. The unborn baby in the uterus in the latest stages of development, when all its body parts are well developed and can be identified, is called fetus. Internal fertilization. The fertilization which occurs inside the female body is called internal fertilization. In this type of fertilization, the female animal's eggs are fertilized by sperms inside her body. Inside fertilization takes place in mammals, including human beings, birds, some cartilaginous fishes, and reptiles. In internal fertilization, the male animal puts his sperm into the female animal's body. The transfer of sperms occur at the time of copulation or mating. Example, female of human beings, mammals, birds, reptiles, etc. How fertilization in human beings or human females takes place. In human beings, internal fertilization takes place. The sperms or male gametes made in the testes of a man are introduced into the vagina of the woman through penis during copulation or mating, and millions of semen in the form of semen are released into the vagina at one time. The sperms are highly active and mobile, moving. They move up through cervix into the uterus and then pass into oviducts. One of the oviducts contain an ovum or egg cell released by the ovary during ovulation. Only one sperm fuses with the ovum or egg in the oviduct to form a zygote, and it is called fertilization. In other words, the fertilization of the ovum or egg takes place in the oviduct. External fertilization. The fertilization which occurs outside the female body is called external fertilization. This means the female animal's eggs are fertilized by sperms outside its body. External fertilization occurs in amphibians like frogs and fishes. External fertilization occurs in water or a moist area because it gives the sperm external mobility to get to the egg. The release of eggs and sperms into the water is known as spawning. In other words, in amphibians like frogs and toads and fishes, external fertilization takes place. Fertilization takes place by collision between sperm and eggs. Example, test tube baby, in vitro fertilization, that is IVF, frogs, some fishes, etc. What happens when egg is not fertilized in human females? If egg is not fertilized, it lives for about 1 day or 24 hours. As eggs are released every month by either of the ovaries, so uterus prepares itself every month to receive a fertilized egg. Thus, the lining becomes thick and spongy. The thickening and sponginess of lining would be required for nourishing the embryo if fertilization had taken place. Now, however, this lining is not needed any longer, so the lining slowly breaks and comes out through the vagina as blood and mucus. This cycle takes place roughly every month and known as menstruation or menstrual cycle. It usually lasts for about 2 to 8 days. At last, I would like to conclude with, it's not how deep you go, it's how you go deep. Thank you. Presented by Spread Knowledge.